What's good, YouTube? It's your number one hero, Black Deku, and I am still off the high of that final episode from Mandalorian Season 2. Save for a few minor things, this season was a straight banger. But is this season better than Season 1? Listen, I know I usually try to pose a question in my videos before I roll my intro, but spoiler alert, it is. Just know before I get into it that there are spoilers for season 2. Alright, so this is the first and last time I'm ever gonna compliment the visuals of a Disney Plus original, because you already know about the Mickey dollars, but I gotta say it, this shit was a fucking movie. This show is absolutely beautiful, from the spaceships to the planets to the different creatures, and not even just the CGI but also the practical effects for a lot of the aliens. There were multiple times during my viewing where I just sat there in awe about how great everything looked. And the same goes for the action. They're riveting, high octane, the choreography is great, and the big action set pieces are fun as hell. They're a real joyride. And I really like the narrative this season, but there was one little pattern that I was noticing throughout some of these episodes, and I'm sure you have too. It'll go something like this, okay? Alright, so Mando will go to someone and he'll be like, hey yo, I'm trying to find this person, and the other person will be like, I got you, fam. But first, and it's just like, god damn it, we doing this shit again? And it's like, it doesn't necessarily bother me too much, like the Mandalorian is a bounty hunter, but it does start to get a little repetitive once you start finally picking up on it. But this season we get a lot, and I mean a lot, of new information about certain things that definitely made the show a lot more interesting this time around. And I just want to throw this out there, and that is that Baby Yoda's little cutesy charm has not worn off and never will. He is still the ray of sunshine in our lives that is pure, just, and innocent in every way imaginable. Except for that time he kept eating that frog lady's baby eggs. That was pretty fucked. But he and Mando have this father-son dynamic going on, and it's just everything. I love it. We're just watching Mando try to constantly parent him, and it makes for some of the funniest moments of the season. And the show eventually does beg the question just how far he'll go to protect the little guy. As for the other characters, they're all great, they all do their thing, except for one character in particular, but we'll get to that part later. And one thing that I was worried about going into the season was the news around certain characters making a reappearance. I really didn't want this show turning into a cameo of the week of, hey, remember that person? But after watching them in action, I can say that I had nothing to worry about. The characters that do make a reappearance don't feel shoehorned into the narrative just for the sake of it. Their inclusion felt natural, and they all served an actual purpose. They're done justice, and each of them have their own moments that remind you why you miss them so damn much. Bo-Katan is awesome to see again, and as a huge Clone Wars fan, I absolutely love seeing Ahsoka. Her lightsaber combat was incredible, and Boba Fett is still that nigga. Thick boba. And I don't even want to discuss a certain appearance, like if you know, you know. Easily one of the most exciting things I've seen in recent Star Wars. And I gotta say it, this finale fucking slapped. It's between this episode and the previous episode for my favorite episode of the season, and maybe even the series thus far. The only real negative that I had for this season was with, hold on, what was his name again? Moff Gideon. Listen, I love Giancarlo Esposito. The man just exudes intimidation and demands your attention whenever he's on screen. Just not here. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's pretty underwhelming. And not to any faults of his own, he's a great actor, of course. He's just generically written, a bit of a mustache twirling villain, and it doesn't make him for a good antagonist for Mando. I mean, he's got some witty lines here and there, but for the most part, I didn't really feel anything for him. Other than that, I don't have any other complaints. Like I said before, this season was an absolute banger. Alongside Rogue One, Solo, which I think I enjoyed more than most people, and the 7th season of Clone Wars, except for the Martez sisters arc, good god, that shit was fucking horrible. This is the best that Star Wars has been in a long time. And this is probably the most fun I've had watching Star Wars in a hot minute. Disney, whatever you're doing over there, keep doing it, because this shit is hot. But that's all I got for today's video. If you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also make sure to follow me on my Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. All of that in the description box below. This has been your number one hero, and I'm out. Peace.